The microwave hummed its familiar tune as I stood in my kitchen, watching leftover meatloaf rotate under the pale yellow light. Another exciting Friday night in the Halperin household. My wife Erin had texted me an hour ago with her usual excuse. Working late again, don't wait up, love you. Right, working late, at 9 p.m. on a Friday. Sure thing, sweetheart. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I'm Nick Halperin, 42 years old, insurance adjuster for Midwest Mutual. I spend my days investigating claims, which means I've gotten pretty good at spotting lies. The little inconsistencies, the nervous tics, the stories that don't quite add up, like my wife's sudden enthusiasm for overtime. The microwave dinged. I pulled out my sad dinner and sat at our dining room table, the one Erin insisted we buy from that overpriced furniture store downtown. It's an investment in our future, she'd said, when we have dinner parties. We'd never had a dinner party. My phone buzzed. Another text from Erin. Grabbing drinks with Lisa after work. Really late night. See you tomorrow. Lisa Franklin. Erin's best friend since college. Pediatric nurse at the children's hospital. Sweet girl. Always seemed uncomfortable when I was around lately. Like she knew something I didn't. I stared at the text for a long moment, then typed back, "No problem. I'm having dinner with someone important tonight, too." It wasn't exactly a lie. I was having dinner with someone important. Myself. And I was about to become very important to the situation. 20 minutes later, I heard Erin's Honda Civic screech into our driveway. Car door slammed. Front door burst open. "Nick?" Her voice carried that particular tone of panic I'd learned to recognize. "Nick, where are you?" "In here, honey." I didn't get up from the table. She appeared in the dining room doorway, slightly out of breath, her blonde hair messed up, lipstick smudged. Her eyes darted around the room, taking inventory, looking for evidence of my mysterious dinner guest. "Who's here?" she demanded. "What do you mean?" "You said you were having dinner with someone important." I gestured to the empty chair across from me. "I was, but they left already." Erin's face flushed. "That's not funny, Nick. I was worried sick. I thought you were having an affair." The irony was so thick I could have cut it with the steak knife sitting next to my plate. "An affair? Me? Erin, I barely have time to cheat on my diet, let alone my wife." She didn't laugh. Instead, she studied my face with the intensity of someone trying to crack a safe. "Then who were you having dinner with?" "Lisa." The color drained from her cheeks. "Lisa?" "Yeah, Lisa Franklin, your best friend, the one you're supposedly having drinks with right now." Erin opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again, like a fish gasping for air. "That's impossible," she whispered. "Lisa is at home, with her husband, like she has been all evening." I took a bite of cold meatloaf. Funny thing about Lisa, she's been feeling really guilty lately, about covering for you, about lying to me, about being forced to be your alibi while you're off screwing Marcus Vale. If Erin had been pale before, now she looked like she'd seen a ghost. "I don't know what you're talking about." Marcus Vale, real estate developer, lives in that fancy apartment complex he built on Elm Street, drives a silver BMW, has a wife named Julia and 2 kids in private school. Ring any bells? Erin sank into the chair across from me, the same chair I'd been staring at all evening, imagining this exact moment. "How did you?" "Lisa told me everything. The fake work meetings, the fictional girls' nights, the elaborate stories you made her memorize in case I called to check up on you. She's been your accomplice for 6 months, Erin, and she's sick of it." "Lisa wouldn't betray me." "She didn't betray you. She chose honesty over complicity. There's a difference." I pulled out my phone and showed her the screen. Text messages between Lisa and me dating back 2 weeks, screenshots of Erin's real location data that Lisa had been tracking, photos of Erin's car parked outside Marcus's apartment building. "Lisa's been documenting everything," I continued. "She was terrified you'd throw her under the bus if I found out, so she decided to get ahead of it. Smart girl." Erin's hand shook as she reached for my phone. I pulled it back. "The question now," I said, "is what we're going to do about it." Erin tried every trick in the book over the next hour. Denial, anger, bargaining, tears. The whole grief cycle compressed into 60 minutes of increasingly desperate performance art. "It's not what you think," she sobbed. "Marcus and I, we're just friends. He's been helping me with career advice." Career advice, in his bedroom, at 9 o'clock on a Friday night. Nothing physical has happened. I showed her another photo on my phone. Lisa had taken it through Marcus's apartment window using a telephoto lens. Erin and Marcus on his couch, very much not discussing career opportunities. Lisa's got about 30 more where that came from, I said, including some from last Tuesday when you were supposedly at that HR conference in Albany. The tears stopped. Just like that. Erin's face hardened into something I barely recognized. "What do you want?" she asked. "Excuse me?" "Cut the innocent act, Nick. You've got evidence. You've got Lisa on your side. You've clearly been planning this ambush for weeks. So what do you want? Money? The house? A quiet divorce?" I leaned back in my chair. "You know what's funny? I haven't decided yet. I've been so focused on catching you that I haven't thought about what comes next. Well, think fast, because I'm not going to sit here and be humiliated." "Humiliated?" I laughed. "Erin, you haven't even begun to understand humiliation." She stood up. "I'm going to pack a bag. Sit down." Something in my voice made her freeze. I'd never used that tone with her before. Hell, I'd never used that tone with anyone. "We're not done talking," I said. "Yes, we are." "No, we're really not." I pulled out my laptop and opened it. "See, while you've been playing house with Marcus, I've been doing some research. About him, about his business, about his wife." Erin sat back down. "Did you know Marcus's real estate company is under investigation by the state attorney general? Something about fraudulent environmental impact reports. Very serious stuff." "That has nothing to do with me." "Doesn't it? You work in HR, Erin. You understand liability. What do you think happens to your career when it comes out that you've been having an affair with a man who's about to be indicted for fraud?" Her face went white again. "And Julia Vale," I continued. "Marcus's wife. Turns out she's not the quiet little housewife she pretends to be. She's got her own money. Old family money. The kind that comes with lawyers who specialize in making problems disappear." "You're trying to scare me." "I'm trying to educate you about consequences, about what happens when people make stupid choices." I closed the laptop. "Here's what's going to happen," I said. "You're going to end things with Marcus tonight, and you're going to do it in a way that makes it clear this was all your idea, your mistake, your responsibility. And if I don't, then I send everything to Julia, and to the state attorney general's office, and to your boss at the tech company, and to everyone in your book club, and to your mother." Erin flinched at the mention of her mother. "You wouldn't. Try me." We stared at each other across the table. The same table where we'd eaten breakfast that morning like nothing was wrong, where she'd kissed me goodbye and told me she loved me before heading off to work and planning her evening with another man. "I need time to think," she said finally. "You have until Sunday. That's when the Founders' Day festival starts. Whole town will be there, including Julia Vale. She's on the planning committee." "What does that have to do with anything?" I smiled. "You'll see." Saturday morning brought Rain and Marcus Vale to my front door. I was in my workshop in the garage, pretending to fix a broken lawnmower while actually planning my next move, when I heard the BMW pull into the driveway. Through the window, I watched him get out of his car, tall, tan, wearing a polo shirt that probably cost more than my monthly car payment. He looked exactly like what he was, a man who'd never been told no in his entire life. I opened the garage door before he could knock. "Marcus Vale," I said. "What a pleasant surprise." He stepped into the garage without being invited. "We need to talk." "Do we? About what?" "About your wife, about your marriage, about this insane jealousy of yours." I set down my wrench and turned to face him fully. Insane jealousy. That's an interesting way to describe a husband's reaction to finding out his wife is cheating. "Erin told me what you did last night. The threats, the blackmail. It ends now." "Does it?" Marcus stepped closer. He had 3 inches and probably 30 pounds on me. In his world, physical intimidation probably solved most problems. "I could destroy you," he said. "One phone call to your boss. One conversation with the right people. You'd never work in this town again." "Interesting theory. Let's test it." I pulled out my phone and dialed a number. "Jerry, it's Nick. Yeah, I know it's Saturday. Listen, you still have that contact at the state attorney general's office? The one who helped with the Morrison fraud case? Great. I've got something that might interest her." Marcus's face went pale. I hung up. "Funny thing about insurance adjusters," I said. "We're really good at investigating fraud, and we have excellent relationships with law enforcement. You're bluffing." "Am I? Want to find out?" Marcus tried a different approach. "Look, Nick, I understand you're upset, but Erin and I, we have something real, something special. You can't force someone to love you." "Love." I laughed. Is that what you call it? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like a middle-aged man having a midlife crisis with another man's wife. You don't know anything about us. I know you're married. I know you have kids. I know your wife doesn't deserve this any more than I do. Marcus's jaw tightened. Julia and I have an understanding. Really? Because I talked to her yesterday. The lie came out so smoothly I almost believed it myself, but the look on Marcus's face told me it had hit its target. You're lying. Call her. Ask her about our conversation. Ask her what she thinks about your understanding. Marcus pulled out his phone, then stopped. He couldn't call his wife without admitting he was worried about what she might have learned. It was a perfect catch-22. What do you want? He asked. I want you to leave my wife alone. I want you to transfer to another city. I want you to disappear from our lives. That's not going to happen. Then we have a problem. Marcus stepped even closer, close enough that I could smell his expensive cologne. You think you're clever, he said. But you're just a small-town loser who can't satisfy his wife. That's why she came to me. That's why she'll keep coming to me. I nodded thoughtfully. You might be right. But here's the thing, Marcus. I might be a small-town loser, but I'm a small-town loser with nothing left to lose, and that makes me very dangerous. Before he could respond, I heard a car pull into the driveway. Through the window, I saw Lisa Franklin getting out of her minivan. Perfect timing, I said. Lisa walked into the garage carrying a manila envelope. Hello, Marcus, she said calmly. I was hoping I'd see you here. Lisa. Marcus looked like he'd rather be anywhere else in the world. I brought those documents you wanted to see, Nick. She handed me the envelope. The ones from Julia. Another lie, but Marcus didn't know that. He looked at the envelope like it might explode. What documents? He asked. Lisa smiled. The ones about your business dealings. And your marriage. Julia's been very thorough. This is harassment, Marcus said, but his voice lacked conviction. No, I said. This is consequences. Something you've managed to avoid your whole life. But not anymore. Marcus looked between Lisa and me, calculating his options. Finally, he turned and walked toward his car. This isn't over, he called back. Yes, I said. It really is. Sunday morning arrived with clear skies and the distant sound of the Founders' Day festival setting up in the town square. I could hear the workers assembling booths and testing the sound system from my kitchen window. Erin had spent Saturday night at her sister's house, or at least that's what she'd told me in her text. I had my doubts, but I was beyond caring where she slept. I had bigger things to worry about. Lisa arrived at 9 a.m. sharp, carrying coffee and a box of donuts. Fuel for the revolution, she said, setting everything on the kitchen counter. You sure you want to go through with this? I asked. Once we do this, there's no going back. Nick, I've been Erin's accomplice for 6 months. I've lied to you, to my husband, to myself. I'm done being a coward. I poured coffee into 2 mugs. Tell me again how you got Julia's phone number. Marcus's business website. He lists his family in the About Us section. Very touching stuff about how family comes first. Lisa rolled her eyes. I called her yesterday afternoon, told her I was a friend of Erin's and that I thought she should know what her husband was up to. How did she take it? Better than I expected. Turns out she suspected something for months. She was actually grateful I called. And she's definitely coming to the festival? She'll be there. She's bringing the kids, too. Marcus won't be able to run or hide. I sipped my coffee and thought about what we were about to do. It felt surreal, like planning a bank robbery or a military operation. 3 days ago, I'd been a boring insurance adjuster with a cheating wife. Now I was orchestrating a public confrontation that would destroy multiple lives. You having second thoughts? Lisa asked. Every minute. But then I remember how they made you lie for them. How they used you. How they laughed about fooling the stupid husband. They never laughed about it. Didn't they? Lisa looked uncomfortable. Okay, maybe a few times. But Erin felt guilty about it. Not guilty enough to stop? No, not guilty enough to stop. My phone rang. Erin. Nick? We need to talk. I'm listening. Not on the phone, in person. Meet me at the festival, by the bandstand, in an hour. Why? Because I've made a decision, about us, about everything. She hung up. Lisa raised an eyebrow. That sounded ominous. Good. Let her sweat a little. We finished our coffee and headed to the festival. The town square was already crowded with families, couples, and groups of teenagers. Local bands were setting up on the main stage. Food trucks lined the perimeter. It looked like every other Founders' Day festival I'd attended for the past 15 years. except this one was going to be different. I found Erin by the bandstand, wearing a blue sundress and sunglasses. She looked nervous, which was unusual for her. Erin was always confident in social situations. It was one of the things that had attracted me to her in the first place. "You came?" she said. "You asked me to?" "I've been thinking about what you said, about consequences, about what happens next." "And?" "I want to work things out. I want to save our marriage." I stared at her. "Just like that?" "It was a mistake, Nick. A stupid, selfish mistake. But it's over. I ended it with Marcus last night." "Did you?" "Yes. I told him I couldn't see him anymore, that I wanted to fix things with you." "How did he take it?" "He was upset, but he understood." Another lie. I could tell by the way she avoided eye contact. "Prove it," I said. "What?" "Prove you ended it. Call him, right now, in front of me." Erin's face flushed. "I don't need to prove anything to you." "Yes, you do. That's exactly what you need to do." "Nick, please, can't we just move forward? Can't we just try to rebuild?" "Not until you prove you're telling the truth." Before she could respond, I saw Marcus approaching from across the square. He was walking fast, looking angry. Behind him, about 50 feet back, was a woman I didn't recognize. Tall, elegant, with 2 young children in tow. Julia Vale. "Looks like we're about to have company," I said. Erin followed my gaze and saw Marcus. Her face went white. "What is he doing here?" "I think he wants to talk to you." Marcus reached us first. "Erin, we need to discuss what happened last night." "There's nothing to discuss," she said, glancing nervously at me. "Yes, there is. You can't just walk away from what we have." "Marcus, please, not here." "Where then?" "You won't return my calls. You won't answer my texts." I watched this exchange with fascination. It was like watching a soap opera, except the actors were people I knew, people whose lives were about to implode. "Excuse me," said a voice behind us. We all turned. Julia Vale stood there with her children, a boy about 10 and a girl about 8. Both kids looked confused and slightly scared. "Are you Marcus Vale?" she asked, looking directly at her husband. Marcus's face went through several different expressions before settling on panic. "Julia, what are you doing here?" "I came to meet your girlfriend." The words hung in the air like a bomb waiting to explode. "Kids," Julia said calmly, "go get some cotton candy. Here's $10. The children ran off, happy to escape whatever adult drama was unfolding. "Julia, I can explain," Marcus started. "No need. Lisa Franklin already explained everything." Erin spun around, looking for Lisa in the crowd. She spotted her about 20 feet away, watching the scene unfold. "You," Erin said, pointing at Lisa. "You did this." "Yes," Lisa said, walking over to join our little group. "I did this." "Why?" "Because someone had to." What happened next was like watching a carefully constructed house of cards collapse in slow motion. Julia Vale was not what any of us expected. She was calm, articulate, and absolutely devastating in her precision. "Mrs. Halperin," she said to Erin, "I want to thank you for helping me understand what kind of man I married." "I never meant for any of this to happen," Erin said. "Of course you did. You made a choice. Every day for 6 months, you made the same choice. You chose to sleep with my husband." The crowd around us was starting to notice the drama. People were slowing down, pretending to look at nearby booths while actually listening to our conversation. "Julia, please," Marcus said. "Can we discuss this privately?" "Privately?" Julia laughed. "Like you discussed your affair privately? Like you discussed spending our money on hotel rooms and expensive dinners privately? You're making a scene. Good, I want people to see what you really are." Marcus grabbed Julia's arm. "That's enough." "Big mistake." I stepped between them. "Don't touch her." "This is none of your business," Marcus said. "Actually, it is. You made it my business when you decided to sleep with my wife." "Nick, please," Erin said. "Let's just go home." "Home?" I turned to look at her. "What home? The home where you lied to me every day for 6 months? The home where you made your best friend lie for you? That home?" I said I was sorry. "No, you didn't. You said it was a mistake. You said you wanted to work things out. You never actually said you were sorry." The crowd around us was growing larger. I could see familiar faces from around town. Mrs. Patterson from the grocery store, Bob Henderson from the hardware store, my neighbor Jim with his wife and kids. This was exactly what I'd wanted. Public exposure, public humiliation, public consequences. "You want to know what your wife really thinks of you," Marcus said suddenly. "She told me you were boring. She told me you were predictable. She told me she was settling for you. The words hit me like a physical blow. Even though I'd suspected something like this, hearing it out loud was different. Marcus, shut up, Erin said. Why? He deserves to know the truth. She never loved you, Nick. She loved what you represented. Security, stability, a safe choice. And what did you represent? I asked. Excitement, passion, everything she was missing with you. I nodded thoughtfully. Excitement, passion. Is that what you call lying to your wife and kids? Is that what you call betraying people who trust you? You wouldn't understand. Try me. Marcus looked around at the growing crowd, then back at me. Some people are meant for bigger things, better things. Erin understands that. She wanted more than this small-town life. She wanted more than me, you mean? Yes. The honesty was brutal, but I was grateful for it. No more lies, no more pretending. Okay, I said. I can accept that. Everyone looked surprised by my calm response. But here's what I don't understand, I continued. If she wanted more than me, and you wanted more than your wife, why didn't you just get divorced? Why all the sneaking around? Why make Lisa lie for you? Why hurt innocent people? It's complicated, Erin said. No, it's not. It's simple. You're both cowards. You wanted the excitement of an affair without the consequences of actually leaving your marriages. That's not true, Marcus said. Isn't it? Then leave your wife right now. Take Erin and go start your exciting new life together. Marcus looked at Julia, then at his children, who were returning with their cotton candy. It's not that simple, he said. It is that simple. You just don't want to do it, because deep down, you know this isn't love. It's just selfishness. Julia stepped forward. He's right. This isn't about love. It's about two people who think they're entitled to whatever they want, regardless of who gets hurt. Julia, Marcus said, please, think about the children. I am thinking about the children. I'm thinking about what kind of father they deserve. And it's not you? She turned to address the crowd that had gathered around us. I want everyone to know that Marcus Vale is a cheater and a liar. He's been having an affair with this woman for 6 months while pretending to be a devoted husband and father. The crowd murmured. I saw people pulling out their phones, recording the scene. And I want everyone to know that his business is under investigation for fraud. So if you're thinking about buying property from Vale Development, you might want to reconsider. Marcus's face went red. You can't do this to me. I'm not doing anything to you. You did this to yourself. Julia, I'll fight you on everything. The house, the business, the kids. You'll get nothing. Julia smiled. Actually, I'll get everything. You see, I've been documenting your affair for weeks. I have photos, credit card receipts, hotel records, and thanks to Lisa, I have testimony from a witness. She gestured to Lisa, who stepped forward. I'm prepared to testify about everything I witnessed, Lisa said. Every lie I was asked to tell. Every alibi I was forced to provide. Everything. Erin turned on Lisa with fury. You betrayed me. I trusted you. You used me, Lisa shot back. You manipulated me. You threatened my job if I didn't lie for you. That's not true. Isn't it? What did you tell me would happen if Nick found out and I hadn't backed up your stories? Erin didn't answer. You said you'd tell everyone I was the one who introduced you to Marcus. You said you'd make sure I lost my job at the hospital. You said you'd destroy my marriage. The crowd was completely silent now, hanging on every word. So I made a choice, Lisa continued. I chose to tell the truth instead of protecting a lie. I looked at Erin, this woman I'd been married to for 12 years, and realized I didn't know her at all. The person standing in front of me was capable of cruelty I'd never imagined. Is that true? I asked her. Did you threaten Lisa? Erin looked around at all the faces staring at her. Her neighbors, her co-workers, people she'd known for years. I was scared, she said finally. I didn't know what else to do. You could have told the truth. I couldn't. I couldn't hurt you like that. But you could hurt Lisa? You could force her to lie for you. That's different. How is it different? She didn't have an answer. I turned to address the crowd myself. I want everyone to understand something, I said. This isn't just about adultery. This is about what happens when people think they're above consequences, when they think they can use and manipulate others without accountability. I looked at Marcus. You thought you could intimidate me because you have money and connections. You thought I'd just quietly disappear. Then I looked at Erin. And you thought you could manipulate Lisa indefinitely. You thought you could threaten her into silence. Finally, I looked at the crowd. But here's what they both forgot. Actions have consequences. Lies get exposed, and eventually the truth comes out. Julia stepped forward one more time. Marcus, I'll be filing for divorce tomorrow. I'll be seeking full custody of the children, and I'll be making sure everyone in this town knows exactly what kind of man you are. She turned to Erin. As for you, I hope it was worth it. I hope 6 months of excitement was worth destroying 2 marriages and traumatizing 4 children. Julia collected her kids and walked away, leaving Marcus standing alone in the middle of the crowd. "This isn't over," he said to me. "Yes," I replied. "It really is." Marcus looked around at all the hostile faces, then pushed through the crowd and disappeared. Erin stood there for another moment, tears streaming down her face. "Nick," she said, "what happens now?" I looked at this woman who had shared my life for 12 years, who had promised to love and honor me, who had betrayed me in the most fundamental way possible. "Now you face the consequences of your choices," I said, "just like everyone else." I turned and walked away, leaving her standing alone in the middle of the town square, surrounded by the wreckage of the life she'd destroyed. Lisa caught up with me at the edge of the crowd. "You okay?" she asked. "I will be." "What are you going to do now?" I looked back at the festival, at the families and couples enjoying their Sunday afternoon, at the normal life I'd thought I had just a week ago. "I'm going to start over," I said. "I'm going to build a life based on truth instead of lies." "That sounds like a good plan." "What about you?" "Same thing. I'm done being afraid, done letting other people make me compromise my values." We walked toward the parking area together. "Lisa?" "Yeah?" "Thank you for choosing the truth, for having the courage to do what was right. Thank you for giving me the chance." Behind us, the festival continued. Music played, children laughed, couples held hands. Life went on, as it always does, even after everything falls apart. But for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe again. The truth was finally out. The lies were finally over. And whatever came next, at least it would be real.